All right, so what exactly have we done here and what we're in the middle of doing here? Everybody loves your parts. It's a great part. Consumers love it. Dealers love it. They want to sell it. But we have some issues, and those issues impact everyone who's trying to take your parts and introduce them to their websites, their e-commerce environment. So what we hope to do is help you, the manufacturer, understand some of the hurdles that the dealers, distributors, and webmasters deal with in regards to getting your parts in front of consumers. And when we do that, it starts to become clear that just getting someone excited about your line is just the first step and does not actually result in more sales. All the time you spend at events and getting out there and showing these dealers your parts, when you don't have a clear understanding of what they need to get those on their website, it's kind of like taking soup to a convention with no bowls. You get them all excited and give them no way to actually consume your product. So in order for consumers to fall in love with your products, right, they have to be exposed to them. And that means parts have to be up on websites. They have to have some sizzle when they're up on the website. Now, in a world where you have little choices, it might be okay, but that's not the world we live in. Also, in a world where consumers shop one site and made a buying decision, this all might not matter so much also, but that's also not the world we live in. Bottom line is consumers shop many sources during their buying phase, and this, of course, is why you have many dealers. The more times consumers see your product online, the higher the chances you have of gaining more sales. And that's just math, right? So here are some things that I've heard from you as manufacturers while we're working with your data for ASAP is I hear, hey, well, it doesn't matter, Amanda, everyone wants something different. It's very difficult for us. And I really want to say that I don't think this is the actual issue. I do, however, think there's a vocabulary disconnect. And hopefully what we're doing here by involving your dealers and everyone that's using your products, using your data to get those products online. And what I mean by that is there are different people within every organization. And so someone you talk to might say everything is hunky-dory, but then they hand it to their webmaster or their data team, and I can guarantee you that everything is not hunky-dory. So anyway, there's a little bit of a disconnect in what you're hearing they want, and what we're trying to do is make some standards for you so it'll make it easier for you to create that internal resource and reduce the time that you have to spend on it, that your dealers have to spend on it, that people that design websites have to spend on it, because bottom line is every hour of payroll that goes into this process comes out of your profit margin. And I don't think that, that's something any of us want to deal with very much longer. Now, at this point in the video, if you're one of the brands that thinks you need no help or feedback from the people that are actually tasked with getting your line on the website, then you probably are the 1 in 10 manufacturers who invested the time and resources and talked with your dealers and understood their challenges, and now you know the difference between e-commerce structured data and PIE's data, right? You understand that PIE's has rules, and those rules actually are anti-internet. But you understand that now because you're one of the 10, and you understand that you have to do something, put something in place to address those. I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to answer one question because I know that's always the first thing that comes up. How much is all this going to cost you? It's not going to cost you anything. I've foot the bill to create the EDGE, which stands for E-commerce Data Group Exchange. We're hosting this. We're doing all the work because we need your clean data as well. And yes, we own ASAP Network and we can do this for you. But we also build websites. And so even if you're not on ASAP, I'm going to need your data. And I'm just tired of waiting for weeks and weeks to get a file that's not complete, knowing your dealer really wants to make profit and can't because no one's taken the time to get that ready for e-commerce. But that is a different story. Anyway, so what we've done here is involved, again, we have over 1,500 dealers over on ASAP, and I emailed out to them and said, help us, right? We did some voting, and we went with the majority of the votes. And, you know, I think we're all going to benefit from this. I also know that, you know, you're not going to make everybody happy. I know that there's always going to be people out there that derive great pleasure from telling you what's wrong in what you're trying to do. And those are the people that didn't want to get involved. And so we're not here to talk about the problems. We're here to talk about the solutions. And the solutions is we need you guys to understand as manufacturers. We need to give you this information for free. We need to make it easy for you to understand so the dealers can sell more of your parts online. You know, when Ford said if he had asked the people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. That's what you're going to get a little bit of, and that's okay. That's just how life is. But what we've done is taken some of just the beginning issues, right, and gone over what dealers could agree upon, and some of those things like current, these are the results of some current voting that we had done. Some of your attributes that go into your columns, like your finishes and your materials and your image standards, right? We kind of voted on those because those were kind of easy to get through. So now that we have voted on those, and you can come into the site, you can create an account, and you can see what the majority of your dealers using your data to sell your parts are asking you to do, right? And we'll continue to do those voting, right? So if you're not going to participate in this, that's fine. But bottom line is, just remember something, that your brand is subject to the consumer's buying habits no different than Sears, right? Sears, been solid since 1886. They're not going to make it this year, right? They couldn't keep up with the change. You talk about Blockbuster, who went from 9,000 retail stores to 300 to none because they stood stubborn in the face of change. And stubborn is great, but what you do is auto parts. And when people are looking for that, that's 66,100,000, right? That's not 66,000. There is a huge market, right? Going to reach 7.4 billion last year, right? What's going to happen in the future? If your data is not structured to get online, and people can't find it from this right here, because that's where everyone goes, then you're going to fall behind. Doesn't mean you don't have a great product. It means you did not take into consideration how people's mentality are, internal businesses, and what time they would take. So we're going to help out. And again, it can't do anything but help. So what you're going to find here is some best practices as the dealers vote those in, and some resources. So we're not just going to tell you what to do, we're going to tell you why to do them, right? And when we're showing you, we're going to give you explanations as to what these things are, because that seems to have been the issue as well, right? The vocabulary issue of I need this, so what does that mean, right? Well, it means a certain thing, and it has to be consistent. And when you get to this page, we'll give you a little sample, right? You just click right there, and what you'll start to see also is I'm going to be putting up a part type, and this part type is going to let you pick your part type and go in and see what attributes that your dealers and distributors need to be able to sell your parts. We also have a ton of resources for you, right, under your manufacturer's resources. No matter how big you are, we all know, I mean, come on, every brand I've talked to, the people that you've put in charge of your data, you also put in charge of 6 other things, including sometimes getting coffee. And so if this is to be a serious future business venture, let's help you figure out what you need inside. Do you need to have someone to host your images so that people can get those URLs? Do you need some fitment software? Do you know where to go find portable photo studios to make your images great, right? One of the big issues we have with your data are image standards. And this was one of the least that we could get everyone to agree upon, 36%. I want to talk to you about your images. The internet's this not even a dating site, it's a mail order bride site, right? And so if your bride has a really crappy image, she's only going to get, this guy's only looking for one wife. It's not like we sell toilet paper and you'll get them next week. We need every ounce of benefit when we're showing off your bride online so that she gets picked and not someone else's. And as other brides start to understand that, this is going to be not just a good idea, but mandatory, and images come into play. What I would like you to do is go over to the e-commerce data group exchange, take a look at what we currently have for you. This will continue to grow. You can certainly contact us. You can call. I will be more than happy to help you with anything you need. Your dealers need you to do a better job on your data so they can sell your parts better. So please give me a call, go over to the site. You will have to create an account. Without an account, you won't be able to see any of the information that's here. But come over, let us help you. It doesn't cost you anything, but it could really change how your product gets sold. All right? If you want to call right now, my phone number is 719-432-9415. My name's Amanda Wickett. I own a web development company and ASAP Network, and I created the e-commerce data group exchange so that we can try and get this industry on track. Anyway, have a great day. I hope this helps.